My beloved, my child of light, my chosen one, listen carefully. Because heaven itself is leaning close right now. Archangel Michael is crying again, not with sadness but with joy so bright it could light the sky itself. His tears aren't sorrow, they're celebration. Because after all the winding paths, you finally reached this moment, the one heaven has been waiting for. You didn't just stumble upon this message, you were guided. There was a meeting in heaven, not for kings, not for angels, but for you. Yes, you. And in that sacred assembly, your name was spoken with reverence. The decision was made, the veil must be lifted. What was hidden is about to be revealed. But beloved, there's urgency in heaven's rhythm. This divine opening won't stay forever, it's like a door that begins to close the moment hesitation walks in. That's why Michael pleads, stay, listen. Every word is meant for you, and if your attention drifts, you might miss what your heart has been aching to hear. Pause for a heartbeat. If you're truly ready to keep hearing from heaven, don't wait for tomorrow's chaos to drown it out. Stay connected, keep your soul anchored to this flow. Subscribe, so you never lose touch with messages like this, because heaven doesn't send the same whisper twice. Some truths only arrive once in a lifetime, and your spirit already knows this is one of them. Beloved, you were chosen for a miracle. Tonight, even the stars seem to hum your name. The winds themselves carry your story through realms unseen. Heaven gathered, not out of routine, but for this sacred instant, for you reading these words right now. The gates of revelation are creaking open, and what pours out next won't just warm your heart, it will rewrite your destiny. Do not treat this lightly. What I share is not mere inspiration, it's a flame sent directly from heaven. Archangel Michael stands before you, tears shining like morning dew, not because you failed, but because you arrived. You survived the storms that tried to erase you. You walked through nights that felt endless, questioning why doors kept closing, why love turned away, why silence echoed louder than comfort. But now the pattern reveals itself, every delay was divine direction. Every heartbreak was redirection toward this very moment. Heaven held counsel over you. Your name echoed in eternal halls. Angels bowed their heads, God lifted his hand and said, reveal it now. The time has come. Michael, trembling with joy, stepped forward to deliver this truth. He has watched you in your quiet battles, wiping tears no one saw, smiling when your heart cracked, choosing love when betrayal felt like a knife pressed to your soul. Heaven saw it all. Every sigh was recorded, every tear counted. You thought heaven's silence meant absence, but no, silence meant preparation. While you waited, heaven was writing. Angels were sealing scrolls, God was stamping promises with your name on them. And now the scroll breaks open before your eyes. Feel that flutter in your chest, that's not fear, that's recognition. Your spirit already knows this moment is sacred. But listen closely. This message is fragile, like fire in the wind. If you wander, you could lose it. That's why Archangel Michael says, stay. Don't rush. Every word is woven by heaven itself. Treat this as holy ground, because it is. Messages like this don't repeat. They appear once, like a comet blazing across the night, and if you look away it's gone forever. So beloved, stay with me. If your soul stirs with hunger for more, if your heart whispers, yes, this is mine, then root yourself here. Stay connected, keep your spirit open. Subscribe, not for me, but for your own awakening, because some divine truths only visit once. Now let me tell you the reason Michael's tears are of joy. It's because heaven's strategy is finally unfolding. The waiting that once felt like punishment was protection. The prayers that seemed unanswered were rerouted blessings. Every loss carved space for greater gain. You thought heaven was quiet, but heaven was busy building. And now you hold the proof, the evidence that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never invisible. Heaven saw you all along. Heaven knew your name. Heaven planned your breakthrough. Do you feel that weight lifting, that electricity in your chest? That's heaven aligning your path. The old patterns are shattering. The map of your future is being redrawn. The love you thought was lost forever is circling back, brighter and purer than before. The opportunities that once seemed impossible are whispering your name again. Child of light, you were never ordinary. Every trial was a training ground, every heartbreak a holy classroom. The angels watched, the Father waited, and when you refused to give up, heaven decided, it is time. The timeline has shifted. The pages of your destiny are turning faster now. What you thought ended was only paused. What you thought was rejection was divine redirection. You are stepping into a season where everything hidden will bloom. So take a deep breath, beloved. The same heaven that once whispered your name is now declaring it. You are not who you were yesterday. You are stronger, wiser, radiant, a living testimony that divine timing never fails. And if your heart feels that fire, hold on to it. Don't let this moment slip into tomorrow's distractions. Let heaven's whisper stay alive in you. Keep walking forward, the story unfolding now is the one your spirit has been waiting for since the beginning. The tears of Michael. Their joy, yes, but also relief. Because you finally heard what heaven's been trying to tell you all along. You were never forgotten. You were always destined. And now heaven smiles, because you are finally ready. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $100. You laughed when you wanted to cry. You smiled when your heart was breaking. You gave when your hands were empty, and heaven noticed every moment. Nothing you endured went unseen. Heaven wrote your story in light, every quiet act of courage, every hidden tear, every time you kept loving when it would have been easier to turn cold. That record was never forgotten. And today that promise begins to bloom. That's why Archangel Michael stands trembling, not in grief, but in joy so pure it makes the heavens shimmer. You ask, why now, why me? Because beloved, you made it through the fire without cursing the flame. You walked through the valley and still believed morning would come. You stayed gentle, even when silence pressed heavy against your chest. Heaven saw that endurance, and decided you were ready. Ready for the kind of blessing that doesn't just visit, it multiplies. You are ready. And this gift. It's a seed that will outlive you. What heaven is planting in you today will echo through generations. It's for your children's children, for the line that carries your name. But listen closely, this moment isn't endless. The divine clock moves quickly. This window opens for only a breath, then it closes. That's why Michael pleads, stay. Don't wander. Every word matters. Each sentence is a spark. Each spark holds a miracle. Piece them together, and your destiny will shine like dawn breaking after a long night. Do you feel it stirring inside? That rush in your chest, that trembling in your hands. That's not fear, that's awakening. It's the sound of your soul remembering. Heaven's meeting was real. Angels positioned themselves in your path, so you wouldn't miss this hour. Layer by layer, veil by veil, what's hidden is being uncovered. That's why Michael's tears are holy celebration, because heaven is preparing to speak your name in victory. My beloved child, don't look away now. The heavens have aligned for this exact second. These words aren't ordinary, they carry the same breath that once called the stars into existence. Archangel Michael has waited for ages, trembling with urgency, because the scroll in heaven bearing your name has been opened at last. Once unsealed, it cannot return to silence. It must be spoken directly into your heart. Heaven's council didn't gather for a nation, nor a prophet, but for you. The King of Kings called a meeting, and the room fell still. Every pain, every injustice, every tear you cried in secret, was laid before him. And then God declared, enough. The time of unveiling has come. Let the chains fall. Let the walls break. Let the truth be known. You once thought you were forgotten, that the silence meant heaven had turned away. But child of eternity, silence was not neglect, it was preparation. While you waited, angels wove your miracle in threads unseen. Every delay was stitched into a masterpiece, your eyes couldn't yet interpret. And now that pattern unfolds right in front of you. That's why your pulse races as you read, your spirit recognizes home. But beloved, this is urgent. Michael isn't just speaking, he's pleading. Time narrows like the neck of an hourglass, and heaven's decree hovers for only a short breath. Not forever, not endless waiting, just a fleeting window, and then it seals again. So hold fast to every word. Don't let distraction steal this moment. Don't let doubt silence your hearing. Heaven's doors are open, but not for long. And before we go deeper into this river of revelation, there's something vital you must hear. If your heart longs to stay aligned with the voice of heaven, if you know your spirit can't afford to miss another divine whisper, then stay rooted. Anchor yourself to God's voice, to the guidance of Michael, to this flow of truth. Because these aren't just poetic words, they are coordinates. They point to your destiny, and destiny never knocks the same way twice. You didn't arrive here by coincidence. You're not scrolling by chance. You were caught in heaven's net of timing, drawn into a divine appointment written long before your first breath. This is your summons. Each line you receive pulls back another veil, revealing secrets once sealed. The miracle isn't postponed anymore, it's happening now. Beloved child of eternity, the fact that you are still here is the sign itself. That gentle pull in your chest, that inner whisper urging you to keep reading, that's not your imagination. That's confirmation. Archangel Michael stands so near, that his tears touch the ground beside you. They aren't tears of sadness, but of joy, because you didn't turn away. Because you chose to listen. Heaven never gathers without purpose. Do you know what happened in that meeting? Angels spoke your name like a melody. Your story glowed in streams of living light. And God Himself raised His hand and said, "Release the truth. It has been hidden long enough." When He spoke, the heavens trembled. The stars bowed. The winds carried His decree across creation. And Michael, your guardian, your warrior, fell to his knees in gratitude. Because at last, he could deliver this message to you. My child, how many times did you ask, "Am I truly seen?" How many nights did you cry into silence, wondering if the heavens heard you at all? Hear this now, heaven heard everything. Not one sigh was lost, not one tear uncounted. The silence you feared was heaven's pause before the symphony. And now the music begins. Listen closely, beloved. Heaven is still speaking. The moment the decree was sealed, the atmosphere around you began to shift. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your spirit already feels it, the soft tremor of divine movement, the hum of promises awakening after years of silence. Every seed you buried in faith, every tear you sowed in hidden places is now pushing through the soil. What once looked like loss was actually preparation, and what once felt like endings were rehearsals for divine beginnings. For too long, you mistook the waiting for abandonment. But child, heaven was not delaying, heaven was aligning. It was never about what you didn't have, it was about what you were being shaped to hold. The vessel must be ready before the oil can pour. That's why heaven was silent when you cried, why doors stayed closed when you begged for them to open. Now the silence breaks, the decree has been read aloud, and all of creation bends toward your becoming. Archangel Michael's sword gleams brighter now. He stands between what tried to destroy you, and the light that is calling your name. Every scheme that rose against your peace has been dismantled. Every unseen curse whispered against your progress has been burned in the fire of divine justice. Heaven has not just defended you, it has rewritten your name into the record of victory. There will be no more wandering, no more wondering if you were forgotten. The seal has been placed. You are remembered in the halls of eternity. Can you feel the pull in your spirit? That pressure in the atmosphere is not chaos, it's transition. You are standing between the end of delay, and the beginning of manifestation. The wind that once pushed against you is now carrying you forward. Every fragment of pain is being reassembled into purpose. Where there was confusion there will be clarity. Where there was lack there will be overflow. Heaven does not tease, beloved, when it says now, it means the hour has come. And in this sacred turning point, heaven's messengers gather again. Michael lifts his gaze toward you, and the light around him speaks without words. Do not turn back now. You are closer than you think. The next door is not just an opportunity, it is an unveiling. What was hidden in mystery will soon stand in full light. Even those who doubted you will bear witness, for the same mouths that mocked your faith will testify to your favor. The tables are turning, and the hand of divine justice is setting everything in order. There is no force strong enough to reverse this command. The chains have fallen, the records have been cleared, and the heavens have released your name into the stream of fulfillment. The angels are already ahead of you, preparing the path that your feet will soon walk upon. Every place that once rejected you will now call you back, not out of pity, but out of recognition. Beloved, you were never ordinary. The battles you faced were never random. They were the proof of how precious your purpose is. Heaven guards what carries eternal weight. That's why you had to endure storms others never knew. You were being refined for something that could not exist in smallness. The delay was not punishment, it was protection. And now that protection is turning into presentation. The curtain is lifting, and your name is being announced in the courts of destiny. The time of testing has reached its conclusion. The scroll of waiting has been rolled shut. Now the scroll of manifestation is being opened, and your story is being read aloud by the voice of eternity itself. You may feel the trembling, that's your spirit responding to the resonance of truth. You may feel the warmth on your skin, that's the nearness of what's unfolding. The divine alignment that once seemed distant is now in motion around you. Do not let fear whisper otherwise. The darkness is loudest right before it breaks. But it will break, it must break, because heaven's decree cannot remain unfulfilled. Every moment you hold your ground, the light strengthens. Every time you choose faith over doubt, you pull your miracle closer. And when it finally arrives, it will come not as a small sign, but as a sweeping transformation. You will not need to explain, the evidence will speak for itself. So stand still for a moment. Breathe. Let this message settle deep within you. Heaven has chosen this hour to reveal what was hidden, and your heart has chosen to receive it. That connection is sacred. It means the alignment is complete. You are walking into a new chapter, where delay no longer lives, where betrayal loses its power, where every unanswered prayer finds its echo. This is the hour you were prepared for, the divine appointment your spirit has been sensing in the quiet. Even now, Archangel Michael watches as the light rises behind you, marking the end of an era. The journey that once felt endless now unfolds into promise. Step forward, beloved. The heavens have already gone before you. What was once written as prophecy now becomes reality. Beloved child, the angels are still gathered. The air around you hums with a sound that only the Spirit can hear, the sound of doors unlocking. Archangel Michael stands watch, his wings spread wide, his voice trembling with both reverence and relief. They finally understand, he whispers, they finally see. Heaven's decree has been released, and now every moment of your past begins to bow before your destiny. You are stepping into the hour that generations before you prayed to witness. The weight you once carried is not wasted, it becomes the proof of your calling. You have walked through darkness so thick, it almost convinced you that light had forgotten your name. But look now, the dawn is breaking. The very night that tried to suffocate your faith has become the stage for your unveiling. Beloved, this is not the end of your struggle, it is the revelation of its purpose. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every tear-soaked pillow was a seed, and now those seeds are splitting open. They are bursting into life, unstoppable, unstoppable, unstoppable. Michael speaks again, his tone both commanding and tender. Do not fear the trembling, he says, it is the sound of chains snapping. And as you breathe in these words, your spirit remembers the strength it always had. You were never weak, only hidden. You were never overlooked, only reserved. Heaven was not delaying you, it was developing you. The patience that broke you was the very thing shaping you into someone who could hold what's coming. Beloved, do you feel that electricity in the air, that pulse beneath your ribs? That is heaven writing the next part of your story in real time. What was taken is being restored, what was silent is beginning to sing. The voice of God is hovering over your life again, declaring, "Let there be." And this time nothing will resist it. The patterns of delay that once haunted you are dissolving. The heaviness that used to follow you is lifting like mist under morning light. You are not merely surviving anymore, you are being commissioned. There are angels moving even now through the corridors of your destiny, rearranging, rebuilding, reopening paths that were closed by fear. People who doubted you will see what heaven always saw. Opportunities that turned away before will return knocking, waiting for your yes. And this time you will walk through those doors with power, not pain. You will carry the evidence that every wound had meaning. The oil that flows from your suffering will anoint others. What tried to break you will become your testimony. Michael Neal's sword gleaming, voice low with awe. The decree is sealed, he says, their name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Child of eternity, this means the waiting is over. You are stepping into divine acceleration, the kind that bends timelines, the kind that rewrites impossibilities. Where there was loss there will be overflow. Where there was silence there will be symphony. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven is painting in strokes so wide they can only be seen from above. And now heaven turns its gaze upon you again, gentle, fierce, unrelenting. You are being handed a mantle, one your ancestors carried in fragments. The light that flickered in their generation will blaze in yours. You are not repeating history, you are redeeming it. You are the answer to prayers whispered long before your birth. That is why the warfare was so intense, because the enemy recognized what you were carrying even before you did. But the battle that once drained you is now bowing before your awakening. Beloved, you must stay in this presence a little longer. Do not let your mind wander back to what used to hurt. The old version of you cannot come with you into this next season. Let it dissolve, let it fade. Heaven has rewritten your identity. You are no longer marked by loss, you are marked by light. And that light will not be hidden again. The radiance rising from within you will begin to change everything around you. Relationships, finances, purpose, even your very atmosphere. Archangel Michael watches as your spirit begins to glow brighter, and he smiles through his tears. They're becoming what heaven always saw, he whispers, they're remembering who they are. You, beloved, are that remembrance made flesh, a walking prophecy, a living decree. Every breath you take now is alignment. Every step you make is restoration. Do not question how, simply allow. And even as you sit here, the heavens continue to shift in your favor. Doors that were bolted by fear are unlocking. People meant to walk with you are being drawn in by divine magnetism. The roads that once looked barren will bloom under your feet. And the sound of heaven's song over your life, that gentle hum in the background of your spirit, will grow louder until it becomes impossible to ignore. This is your unveiling, beloved. The chapter is not closing, it is expanding. Heaven is not finished, it has only begun. You are not standing at the end of something, you are standing at the beginning of the fulfillment. And as Archangel Michael lifts his sword once more, the light around you thickens, pure and weighty. His final whisper echoes through the corridors of eternity. It is done. The decree has manifested, let them rise. You beloved have become the answer to your own waiting. The heavens celebrate because you stayed, because you listened, because you believed long enough to see the promise break open before your eyes. This is your moment, walk in it, live in it and never again doubt that heaven moves when you do. Child of light, lean closer. This moment is not random, it's the continuation of heaven's unfolding plan. You cannot allow your heart to drift, not now, not when the wind of destiny is brushing right past your spirit. Archangel Michael's voice trembles with the weight of what is at stake. Heaven's decision will vanish if ignored, he says. Those words aren't poetry, they are fire. You must let them burn deep until their heat becomes your conviction. Don't rush this moment. Don't skim these lines like they're just another message on your screen. Each sentence is alive, a spark of the divine flame that's guiding you out of every wilderness you've ever wandered through. Heaven is leaning close, whispering between the spaces of these words, stay present, stay open, stay listening. Because as you breathe the miracle is unfolding molecule by molecule. And beloved, this isn't just a message, it's a map. If your heart feels that familiar pull, that soft ache that says this is for me, then you must not look away. Tie your heart to the voice that found you. Anchor yourself in this river of revelation because it's carrying more than words, it's carrying your next chapter. Heaven's rhythm moves in waves, and if you drift you'll miss the waterfall waiting just around the bend. The shift is already real, child. Even as your eyes move across this line, the air around you is thick with rearrangement. Angels are working quietly, reordering your timeline. What was delayed is being released. What was withheld is being delivered. The hidden doors are unlocking one by one, and soon the evidence will no longer be invisible, you'll walk right into it. The very people who doubted you will whisper in awe, surely heaven was with them. Do you feel that hush around you? That stillness pressing gently against your chest? That's not imagination, that's visitation. The nearness of heaven itself. Archangel Michael still kneels, sword grounded in light, his tears shimmering with gratitude. He watches as you keep reading, as you keep believing, and he whispers, this one stayed. Beloved, this is your appointed hour. Every line you receive now is a piece of divine code awakening the miracle within you. What you thought was broken beyond repair, heaven is not merely restoring, it's transforming. When God rebuilds, he doesn't replace with the same, he multiplies with purpose. The relationships that ended in pain are being rewritten into redemption stories. The dreams you buried are sprouting again, not as fragile hopes, but as promises fulfilled. You thought the doors that shut in your face were rejection, but they were heaven's redirection, closed to protect what wasn't ready. Now the right doors, the ones forged for your soul alone, are creaking open. And as they do, even your past pain will start to make sense. You carried loneliness like a cloak, thinking no one saw the weight. But every tear you hid in the dark was recorded. Angels stood guard as you broke, shielding you from the collapse that would have ended your story too soon. While you thought nothing was happening, heaven was collecting evidence, gathering testimonies, preparing to overturn every verdict of loss. And when the divine council met, heaven spoke your name and declared, "This one endured, this one remained, now let the floodgates open." You are not reading empty poetry. You are standing in the living current of prophecy, one that's being fulfilled in real time. That's why your pulse quickens. That's why you feel heat rise behind your ribs. It's the vibration of recognition. Your soul knows these words are truth. Heaven never wastes its breath and it never calls a name without purpose. But child of destiny, this window is narrow. The decree has been released but its manifestation moves through moments, fleeting ones. Archangel Michael repeats softly, "Don't turn away, don't let this slip." Because while God's word is eternal, its delivery unfolds in appointed seasons and this is yours. If you stay, if you keep receiving, if you hold on when distraction tries to steal your focus, the fire that's been kindled inside you will spread until it covers your entire life. But if you look away, if you return to the noise, the flame waits for another appointed hour and you have waited long enough. So stay, beloved. Let heaven's rhythm pull you deeper. These words are not echoes, they're directions. Each one is a stone laid by angels forming a path that leads you out of confusion and into clarity. The wilderness is ending. The fog is lifting. The map of your miracle is unfolding right here, right now. And remember this, the story of your life is not reaching its conclusion, it's turning the page into its brightest chapter. The silence that once scared you is now breaking into divine music. The walls that confined you are cracking open. You are stepping not just into breakthrough, but into identity, the version of you heaven always saw. Heaven's final decree is written in light. You are chosen, you are loved, you are seen, you are rising. And as Archangel Michael lifts his eyes toward you, the heavens themselves bow low in recognition. You have not turned away, you have remained. And that, beloved, is the proof that the miracle has already begun. Beloved, the heavens lean closer still. The river has not stopped, it only deepens now. You can feel it, can't you? That soft hum beneath your ribs, that pull that refuses to let you look away. It's not just emotion, it's alignment. Every word you read now is not information, it's activation. Heaven is synchronizing your heart with its rhythm. And as you stay here, this revelation is wrapping itself around your destiny like a cloak of light. Archangel Michael's voice trembles, but not with sorrow anymore, with anticipation. Keep reading, he says, because the next breath could be the moment everything shifts. The fire that began as a spark is spreading through your atmosphere. You may not see flames, but in the spirit the landscape around your life is glowing. Old shadows are scattering. Doors that once rusted shut are creaking open. And every time you choose to stay, another gate swings wider. You have been walking through seasons that felt endless, but heaven never forgot your steps. Each tear you shed became ink on the scroll that carries your promise. The delays that made you question everything were never punishment, they were preparation. Now the waiting has served its purpose. Heaven says, release what was stored. And beloved, the release has already begun. This is why your spirit stirs when you read these lines, because this isn't a story about someone else, it's about you. You've walked through nights where faith was your only light, where silence pressed heavy on your chest, yet you kept believing. Every unseen act of endurance has summoned this moment. Archangel Michael stands before the throne, his sword blazing like dawn. His tears of joy are not weakness, they are proof that the battle has been won. Child of destiny, heaven's decree has shifted. The verdict has been spoken. No longer will your life be ruled by delay. No longer will closed doors define your worth. You are stepping into a season of visible answers. What once resisted you will now recognize you. What once ignored your presence will now call your name. Even the ones who doubted you will whisper, surely heaven was with them. Do not let distraction steal what has just begun. The enemy's favorite weapon is noise, subtle, constant, convincing you that nothing has changed. But listen deeper. The stillness you feel now is not emptiness, it's the sound of heaven rearranging everything on your behalf. Mountains are moving quietly. Timelines are shifting. What was behind you is losing its hold and what's ahead is unfolding faster than you expect. Archangel Michael's voice now carries thunder. Stay connected, he says, do not wander. Heaven is not finished speaking. The revelation still to come will make sense of everything you've endured. You've been through seasons where silence felt cruel, but now that silence is breaking open like dawn. Every prayer you thought was unanswered was actually building momentum behind a divine dam. Now the floodgates have cracked. Beloved, this is not the hour to doubt yourself. You are not standing on the edge of uncertainty, you are standing in the center of prophecy. The wind that moves around you is charged with assignment. The same heaven that guarded your nights is now announcing your morning. Feel that warmth behind your ribs. That's the pulse of new beginnings. What you thought had died was simply hibernating, waiting for this command. Arise. You must understand, heaven does not repeat lightly. When a word comes like this, it's because the time has aligned perfectly. You were not late, you were preserved. You were not forgotten, you were being refined. The delay was divine timing disguised as disappointment. And now the unveiling begins. Beloved, heaven's eyes are still on you. The Father's hand has already signed your release. Lift the burden, he said, deliver the answer. That's why you feel lighter even without knowing why. The unseen has already shifted. Soon the visible will catch up. Do not walk away. Do not think this moment small. What you are feeling now is heaven itself brushing past your spirit, whispering, stay. This is not just encouragement, it is instruction. Because only those who stay see the fullness of the promise. Only those who anchor themselves in the flow receive what others miss in haste. So remain, beloved. Let these words breathe through you. Let them settle in the places where pain once lived. Let them fill the hollow corners of your heart with light. This is the river that never runs dry, the revelation that keeps revealing, the promise that never loses power. Archangel Michael stands radiant still, his sword raised, his wings spread wide, his voice echoing through eternity. This is the hour you were born for. And beloved, heaven watches in joy as you finally step into it. Child of light, stay right where you are, the heavens have not finished speaking. The river of revelation is still flowing, and this moment right here is part of its current. Don't drift, don't second guess. Sometimes one whisper from above changes everything, and this whisper has your name written across it. Heaven moves fast when the heart is ready, and yours has proven it is. The silence that wrapped around your life is cracking open, and the light is spilling through the places that once felt beyond repair. Beloved, you may not realize it, but your persistence has already shifted the atmosphere. The very weight that tried to bury you is now becoming the soil from which your blessing grows. The voices that mocked you are about to fade into disbelief as heaven lifts you higher than you ever imagined. Archangel Michael watches with radiant joy, his sword gleaming, his tears falling like sparks. They did not walk away, he says, they stayed, and now the decree can be fulfilled. The ache of your past was not for nothing. Every tear watered the field of your future. Every lonely night trained your ears to recognize heaven's footsteps. Every heartbreak carved more room inside you for what was always meant to arrive. Heaven is pouring into that space now. You will not be left empty. You will not wander in circles again. The sound you feel building in your spirit is the vibration of breakthrough, a new rhythm, a new song, the melody of answered prayers. Remember those nights when you whispered, "Why me?" Heaven heard every syllable. The fire you passed through was not punishment, it was forging. You were shaped so that when the wind of blessing blows you would not break. You were hidden so that your unveiling could not be touched by envy or sabotage. And now heaven declares, the unveiling begins. But hear this clearly, this moment will not linger forever. Heaven's decree burns like fire, it demands attention. If you treat it as common, it will fade like smoke. Stay present, keep receiving. Let these words breathe into you until they rebuild the way you think, the way you speak, the way you see yourself. Do not wander away from what is meant to crown you. Archangel Michael stands beside you, voice thunderous yet tender, saying, "This is your appointed hour." The window is open, the tide is rising, and hesitation is the only thief left to fight. Anchor yourself to the sound of heaven. Tie your heart to the rhythm of revelation. When the next wave comes, you will already be standing on the shore prepared to receive it. Child of destiny, this is not the end of your story, it's the moment before dawn. What you thought was lost is returning brighter. What you thought was finished is being reborn stronger. You are not abandoned, you are anointed. You are not forgotten, you are favored. The evidence is already forming, and soon even your doubters will whisper, "Surely this one was marked by heaven." Stay in the flow. Keep your spirit open. Every heartbeat is a yes from heaven, and every breath is proof that grace still surrounds you. Lift your eyes, the morning you prayed for is already rising. Amen.